I almost listened to the voice telling me to turn back. It was the hardest moment of my life, and I almost let that voice win. Welcome to Living the Plot Twist. Let's go. So 10 years ago, I called my mom, million miles away, and I said, "Mom, I'm leaving." And she said, "Are you crazy? Go back." And in that moment, I almost listened. That night, I rented an apartment a few blocks away, one I had never even seen. We slept on a foam mat. That was it. Empty apartment. No furniture, no plan, just a foam mat. And my kids and me. I couldn't sleep. I lay there in the dark, looking at my kids, wondering what I had done, wondering if I had made the biggest mistake of my life. I was scared to death. Not the kind of scared where you can think through it. The kind of scared where your body is shaking and your mind is racing and you can't find solid ground anywhere. And every night after that, when my kids went to bed, I would cry. I would wait until they were asleep, until they could not hear me. And then I would cry. For hours sometimes. Just sitting in the dark, crying. Because it was so hard. And I had no idea if I was doing the right thing. I had panic attacks, random moments where my body would just shut down, where I could not breathe, where the fear would take over completely. I did not have anyone to talk to about it. I just had to keep moving, keep functioning, keep showing up for my kids. We moved from that apartment. We lived in a basement apartment for a while. Dark, small, damp. But it was what I could afford. So we lived there. And every day I would think, this is temporary. This will not last forever. But I did not know if that was true. I did not know anything. I made mistakes. A lot of them. I made mistakes about money, about decisions, about who to trust, about how to navigate this new country. But every single mistake taught me something. The mistakes were not failure. They were lessons. I worked, I saved, and we moved to one-bedroom apartment. Not much bigger, but it was progress. It was me saying, we are going to get out of this basement. We are going to climb. There were nights I wanted to quit. Nights when I thought, I can't do this. This is too hard. Maybe I was wrong. Nights when the loneliness was so heavy, I could barely breathe. Nights when I wondered if my kids would have been better off if I had just stayed. But then I would remember why I left. And that why, that reason, it would push me forward for another day. We moved again to a 2-bedroom apartment. Each move was small, but each move was proof that I was building something, that I was not just surviving. I was actually moving forward. And somewhere in those years, I don't know exactly when, something shifted. The panic attacks become less frequent. The crying happened less often. I started to sleep through the night. I started to take care of myself. And I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, I had made the right choice. I built Kado events, not because I had a perfect plan, but because I needed to believe I was capable of building something. I'm building Kado Essence, a retreat, a space for peace. I launched this podcast 10 years from a foam mat to here, from panic attack and crying alone to building things I believed in, from questioning every decision to trusting myself. And then recently, I learned about something called Questal Physics. Now, this is not a physics lesson, so bear with me. When I found out about Questal Physics, everything clicked in place. Let me explain you what Questal Physics is. Questal Physics is a concept about what happens when you're brave enough to go on a real quest. And I want to explain it to you because my entire 10-year journey, it is a Questal Physics unfolding. The first element is this. You're brave enough to leave behind everything comforting. That foam mat night, that decision to call my mom and say I'm leaving, that was me choosing to leave comfort, to leave what was familiar, to leave safety. Even though I was terrified, even though my mom told me to go back, even though every voice was telling me it was the wrong choice, I left anyway. I left to protect the honor and respect that I deserve. The second element, you set out on a truth-seeking journey. This was not just about leaving. It was about asking myself hard questions. Who am I when I'm not in this situation? What do I actually want my life to look like? What kind of mother do I want to be? What do I believe about respect and honor? Those questions shaped every decision I made for the next 10 years. The third element of Questal Physics is you regard everyone you meet as a teacher. During those 10 years, every person taught me something. The friend who became like a sister, she taught me about being held. The colleague who helped me, they taught me about unexpected kindness. My kids, they taught me about resilience and trust. Even my mistakes taught me every failure was a teacher. I learned to see people as teachers instead of judges. The fourth element of Questal Physics is you accept true realities about yourself. Now, this is the hard one. I had to accept that I was stronger than I thought. I had to accept that I was worthy of good things. I had to accept that my shame did not belong to me. I had to accept that I could build something from nothing. I had to accept that I had been living a lie about who I was capable of being. And accepting those realities, that changed everything. And the fifth element of Questal Physics is you transform. That woman on the foam mat 10 years ago, she did not know she would build business. She did not know she would build a podcast. She did not know she would become someone who trusts herself. But the journey transformed her. Not because it was easy, but because she kept showing up, even when she did not believe in herself, even when it was hard, especially when it was hard. And now this all makes sense. The panic attacks were part of the journey. The basement apartment was part of the journey. The nights I cried alone were part of the journey. The mistakes I made were part of the journey. The people I met are all part of the journey. It was all Questal Physics. It was all the hero's journey unfolding in my life. For anyone listening who's scared, who's crying alone at night, who's having a panic attack, I want to tell you something from my heart. You are on a quest, whether you know it or not. If you are brave enough to leave behind what is not serving you, you are on a quest. And that quest will transform you. Trust your heart. Your heart knows the truth. Your heart knows when something is not right. Trust it. Use your brain to figure out how to survive the first day, the first month, the first year, and be true to yourself. Please don't worry about what people think. And don't worry about judgments. Just be true to what you know is right for you and keep going. The first year will be terrifying. The middle years will be lonely. There will be moments you want to quit. Just don't quit. Keep going anyway. You have no idea what you're capable of. I didn't know, but I did it. And so can you. The first night on the foam mat, when I could not sleep, when I was scared to death, that night was the beginning of everything. That night, I began my quest. And I'm still on it. Before I go, I want to ask you one thing. What is one thing you are most afraid of? And then I want you to ask yourself, what would I tell someone else who was afraid of the same thing? Because the advice you would give to someone else, that is the advice you need to give yourself. You're capable, you're worthy, you deserve to be safe. Trust your heart, use your brain, and be true to yourself and keep going. This is Living the Plot Twist. See you next time. Ciao.